And I said, yeah, town, he goes, well, that's what I'm talking about. I was like,
All right.
oh, okay, we can do that.
Well, good morning. Today is December 31, 2024. I'm Kevin Day, Chair of the Custer County Board of Commissioners. I will call this meeting of the board to order. If you do have your cell phones, if you could silence them at this time, please.
And yes, Kenda, we will remind you after the meeting to
Turn it back on.
Yes.
All
I
right.
have that down for additional items.
Good, thanks.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Keep from losing it.
And if you could join us for the pledge and the invocation. Just could you do the pledge and Bill, if you could do the invocation.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let's pray. Oh God, thank you for our blessings. Thank you for this great county. Thank you for this wonderful day. Thank you for us being free as a country and a county to do your will and our business for the Custer County citizens. In Christ's name I pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Day,
Present.
Commissioner Kanda,
Here.
Commissioner Epp,
Present.
and Clerk to the Board, Kelly Camper, present.
I'm glad you got back over so I could start with you again.
BOCC admin Caitlin Woolmer.
River Rock Interim Finance.
Kathy Griffin.
James Gilbert.
Jim Chaplin.
Okay, and I've got a couple of people online. If anyone goes to speak, please ID yourself for the record. Any amendments to the agenda?
None for me.
None for me.
Okay, we do have one piece of unfinished business. We have a motion on the floor to accept resolution 24-30, receipt of 2024 monetary donations. I believe we needed to make a couple of tweaks to that before we did approve that.
Yes, sir, I removed the, good morning, sorry.
Made you sit down and stand up.
Good morning. I removed the, excuse me, the donations that have been listed, the revenue listed as donations within the tourism fund, and removed that, recalculated. So we are in 24-30, we are accepting the receipt of $39,948.51 and breaking that out into recycles, sheriff's office admin, BOCC, K9, Sheriff's Office vest donations, National Night Out, CCKC, and the VSO and the airport. Tourism has been removed from that list.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for all your work. So I do have that motion on the floor. Any discussion from here at the table?
No.
Public comment? That being the case, those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. That motion carries. Okay, next item on our agenda would be resolution, under new business would be actually accounts payable. Don't move though.
Okay, so we can talk about it. I move we approve the accounts receivable report, grand total $74,652.72.
I'll second.
Okay, so I have a motion on the floor to approve the AP report for $74,652.72. Any discussion on that?
None for me.
None here either.
Public comment? Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. That motion carries as well.
I will say this, just purchased the tax notices and the envelopes to send out to everybody, so.
Bummer.
Yeah.
Okay, next item would be resolution 24-31. Go ahead, sir.
So this batch of resolutions is some end-of-the-year cleanup work that we have to do. 31 is to, excuse me, the Custer County has accrued interest income from Conservation Trust Fund money, and we are going to move that with this resolution from the general fund where it accrues into the Conservation Trust Fund, Fund number 45, to the amount of $4,013.77, recognizing the interest income generated by the Conservation Trust Fund balance.
And that is per, the statute on the Conservation Trust Fund, is that we have to move that interest earned on that money into it at least once a year.
This is, yes, sir, and these are restricted funds. They're very, very closely restricted and for specific purposes. So that's why this has to move from the general fund into Conservation Trust.
Okay, I move we approve the resolution number 24-31, a resolution for operational funds transfer, a resolution transferring sums of money in excess of amounts budgeted for Custer County, Colorado.
I'll second.
Okay, so I have a motion on the floor to adopt resolution number 24-31 as stated here this morning. Further discussion?
None for me.
None here.
Public comment? Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. That motion carries. Next item would be 24-32.
So resolution 24-32, we have an operational fund balance residing in the surcharge recording fund, which is Fund 44. We are moving $2,000 of that from Fund 44 into the general fund to offset the costs of online storage for recorded documents.
Is this something we need to do every year?
Yes.
Okay. This is
It's,
the one we need to do for you, right?
Yes.
Basically, or for the clerk.
Yes, it's so with every recorded document, we collect $3. $2 of it goes to a fund that you apply for grant funds out of it, and then the dollar stays in the county and we can use that towards the recording system.
Okay.
So it kind of builds up throughout the year, and then in December, I move whatever is over there into, to help pay for that.
Okay, awesome.
Vern, I had,
Yes, sir.
curious when I saw this before. What's the online storage cost? And what is it? Is it a county or clerk's wide storage thing, or is it special? What is it? Okay.
It's, so, each county has to have a online, where people can go online and look up the documents and stuff. So, it is statewide. Each county uses a different vendor. And, I don't know off the top of my head, I wanna say it's 8,000, somewhere in there, a year to store the documents. I'd have to look, double check.
I believe the system we use is iCounty, and it's through LEDs.
Through LEDs.
So when you see an invoice come through on the AP cycle for LEDs, that's what that's for.
Okay.
I think you addressed it before because we had a question, because it's a recording fee, which we were assuming at that time that it was a physical recording here, not a document recording. So I remember that
Oh.
discussion before
Yeah.
on this.
Yeah, and I'm in the process of working on a, grant to apply for some of the $2 funds to pay for that storage. I think we're going back to 21. And because because those larger counties, they have money to pay for stuff. We don't have money to pay for stuff, and so it helps offset that, so we don't have to pay that whole thing.
No, sounds good.
Would entertain a motion. Or
I'll
I guess-
move we adopt this resolution also, resolution number 24-32, resolution for operational transfer of funds, a resolution transferring sums of money in excess of amounts budgeted for Custer County to the operational fund balance residing within the surcharge recording fund.
I'll second.
Let's have a motion on the floor to adopt resolution 24-32 as presented here today. Any further discussion? Public comment? Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. That motion carries.
If we hurry, we can be on track to have the shortest meeting ever.
I think so. I think we're gonna make it, we're gonna.
33. Go ahead, sir.
Okay, resolution 24-33, excuse me. So we spent some money out of the Conservation Trust Fund. Once again, these are restricted funds, very closely controlled. We spent some money that was approved in the commissioner meeting, but was not actually in the budget itself. This resolution will move that money from the fund balance into the budget itself, so that excuse me, that fund balance does not show an overage in expenses over and above any budgeted amounts. The appropriation of $15,000 will be moved from the fund balance into the Conservation Trust Fund Community Projects line to defray costs incurred by community projects.
I would move that we adopt resolution number 24-33 as presented here today.
I'll second it.
Further discussion?
I'm from you.
Public comment? Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. That motion carries. Okay, sir, 34.
So this year we had some, the self-insurance fund had some expenses that were unbudgeted, and this pulls $26,000 from the fund balance into the appropriate line items, self-insurance grounds and building, and self-insurance road and bridge, to a tune of $6,000 and $20,000 respectively, for a total of $26,000. And this basically does the same thing as the previous resolution, to make certain that our expenses are recorded properly and budgeted correctly.
And this is the self-insurance fund balance, not
Yes,
the
sir.
general fund balance.
This is self-insurance.
Okay,
Yep.
so we're just taking out of the cash balance to cover the increase in cost that we didn't realize we were gonna, right, have. Okay.
Okay, so I move we adopt resolution 24-34 as presented.
I'll second.
Okay, a motion on the floor. Any further discussion?
No. No.
Okay, public comment. Those in favor of adopting resolution 24-34 signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. That motion carries. And let's go to number 24-35.
So 2435 recognizes your receipt of tangible assets that have been donated to the Custer County Sheriff's Office. These assets were obtained through the DRMO system from the military for the Sheriff's Office to a tune of $1,150,000 $161,619.88. This is not a monetary donation, this is tangible assets that we have taken possession of. It is $411,619.88 worth of equipment and $750,000 worth of a vehicle. And this resolution recognizes the receipt of those assets.
I move that we adopt resolution number 24-35, resolution for receipt of tangible assets.
I'll second it.
A motion on the floor to adopt resolution 24-35 as presented today. Any further discussion?
The tangible assets, and then we did the monetary assets as well, but both of these were highly recommended. We do this on a yearly basis, if not going to a quarterly basis throughout the year, so we're not trying to catch up so much. But our auditor had been saying that we should be doing this for quite some time, and this is just us doing it. We gotta put it in as both revenue and an expense, so it zeroes out. So I take it that's what we're doing, is so we zero out at the end of the year. So anyway, thank you for doing this and getting us
Thank you for all.
with what we're supposed to be doing.
I'll second that.
Okay, I think you already had.
I know I seconded his comment,
Oh,
his thanking.
Second the comment.
you're just trying to drag this meeting out. All right. No further discussion, public comment? Yes, sir.
Well, I haven't seen any tanks or rocket launchers around. I was curious where $1 million got donated in tangible assets.
This came without the gun.
The MRAP is that you see in the yard is the $750,000 vehicle.
I don't know what MRAP means.
It's a big armored vehicle that sits in the sheriff's office parking lot.
Yeah.
Big green tank looking thing.
Yeah.
So there is a tank.
Yeah.
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 Well,
It's really not a tank, but it just doesn't have the gun turret.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why do we have a big armored vehicle
Like
in
swamp.
Custer County?
So
Cause they gave it
you
to
have
us.
to ask the sheriff that
It
again.
was given to us. And it's for example, it would have been used if we'd have gone out on that shooting out there. That would have been
Yeah.
on the
before
vehicle they have to
Thanksgiving last year.
station out there or looking.
And-
Once in a time, so I don't know, maintenance wise, go ahead.
And it is also that we have taken possession of it, and if it ever breaks down to the point that it can't be repaired, if we feel like we no longer need it, it has to go back to the military. It's not something that we can keep or sell.
Right,
Correct.
So,
pretty neat deal.
It's on.
It's kind of a loaned deal.
right, loaned donation.
Yeah.
And the rest of the equipment includes trailers, couple massive snow plows, attachments rather, tires, concertina wire, stuff like that the sheriff's office has obtained.
Yeah, and I believe that he was donating the tires to Road and Bridge, if I remember right.
That's
If
correct.
they fit.
Mhm.
Jim, you had your hand up.
Well, I'm just surprised that they didn't use the MRAP this morning to go down and get you through the rock slide.
Could
Good
have,
idea.
I guess I just don't have quite
could have,
that
it
pull.
wouldn't batten down the hatches if a rock fell.
That's right.
I had the impression that Rich was happy to use it anytime he could.
So, yep.
Thanks for thinking of me, though. Go ahead.
Any idea what the insurance is on that thing?
We will find that out next year when they give us our insurance adjustment.
Yeah.
Have to make sure they know that it isn't gonna be paid, any money's not gonna be paid to fix it if it does get broken, from the insurance point of view,
Oh, understood.
not gonna be.
But we do have to have liability on
Gotta
that.
have liability on if you
Yep.
run over something,
Exactly.
Yeah.
just like any other vehicle.
Yeah, so we will find out when we get our bill in end of January, beginning of February.
And if, you said if we don't use it, it goes back to the military
Yeah.
government?
And seeing none online, those in favor of adopting resolution 24-35 signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. That motion carries.
Thank you all. Is there any other questions for me?
Nope, I believe so.
All right.
Thank you for putting all these together, I appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
sir.
Thank you.
Thank
you, sir.
Thank you.
Next thing that we have on our agenda would be the designation of a representative to the county health pool. At CTSI.
Sounds like we're gonna dunk somebody.
Almost, but not quite.
A healthful pool.
I guess you just volunteered.
I would respectfully withdraw my name from consideration, so if that would fall to either one of you two, unless you wanted to throw somebody else under the bus.
Well, I will put my name on there as long as we have the designated alternative be Bill Ganda.
Okay.
All right, so I would make a motion to that effect.
Yes.
To name Lucas as the primary and Commissioner Kanda as the secondary.
Works for me.
I'll second.
Okay, so I have a motion on the floor to name Commissioner Rep as the primary rep and Commissioner Kanda as the alternate for representation on the county health pool. Any further discussion on that?
No.
None for me.
Public comment? Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. That motion carries. That takes care of our new business. Any other additional items of business, gentlemen?
No, so this is kind of the last meeting in here, I guess, for this year and maybe next year, but
Unless it's a
we'll see.
special meeting.
Yeah. So next year, when I see y'all, we'll have a meeting on the 9th at 9 at All Aboard Westcliff, the 15th. That's a Wednesday, the 23rd is a Thursday, and the 30th is a Thursday, all at 9 o'clock, all at All Aboard Westcliff.
What date was the first one?
The 9th,
Ninth.
Thursday the 9th, then the Wednesday the 15th. And the reason we're moving it to the 15th is, we got new commissioner training in Denver, the 15th, 16th, and 17th, that afternoon, so.
This gonna be posted online, can you get on there? Yes.
No,
Come on.
online, what are you talking
Gonna
about?
get this notified.
We're back in 1776, we don't post stuff online. Yeah, it'll be online. Yep, we'll put it on the calendar. Oh, if you're looking for, because we don't have a designated spot yet for, staff reports, they are under the BOCC, the commissioners. Then you go to the agendas, and they're under the agendas, there's a tab there for staff reports. That's where it's right now until we get the website changed to include that. So that's where they're hiding. Novembers and Decembers are on there, so in case you need to find them, that's where they're at. Bill. And you can turn your phone back on here in a
Oh,
couple
good.
minutes.
I'm not ready yet.
In a second.
Let me give an update on the hardscrabble thing, because I just read it. Last night there was an update. The plan was to get Jersey barriers up, repaint the highway and make a two-way lanes going north, east and west by tonight. Don't know if that's gonna happen yet. Here's the latest. The CDOT regional supervisor, Jim Buford, and Mike Langston, who's the cleanup contractor, Langston is. CDOT geohazard team has been working this morning. Rock climbers are using steel poles to knock down the rocks. That sounds interesting. The progress is slower than anticipated. You could have bet on that. Due to a lot of dirt wedged in with the rocks. Most of the highway has been cleared. They backed off their original estimate of being able to open the 2 lanes this afternoon. They now have to open 1 lane with flaggers this evening. That's the plan right now, so maybe 1 lane will be going back and forth.
Okay.
So that's pretty good news, actually.
Yeah, I spoke to Mr. Buford last night, and he said earliest would have been this afternoon, but it could be as much as 3 or 4 days, depending on how the scaling goes. So, thank you for that update.
Yeah, and then the other thing I'll mention is what I would like to see, we talked about it with them a bit, is to keep the work in the county with county contractors, crushing with them. They haven't got that planned yet. Get a couple crushers down there doing it at the same time, make it move quicker. We got county trucks that are not dumping stuff right now in the wintertime. We could take it and put it on the roads before it snows again. At least start it and then stockpile. Keep it in the county and let the contractors bid on, or work together on another crusher and some trucks for theirs, that kind of thing. And Brad, we have money in our, for crushing next year and those kinds of things. We can include doing that and get it done early, and with some help from the state by their money crushing it, our hauling it, it'd be a lot cheaper. So that's the plan I have, to try to keep the heat on them and see what they end up doing.
Yeah,
How they're gonna do it.
I talked to him about that too last night,
Yeah,
and he said that they contract out on the mitigation people
Right.
for this.
Why
And then
they're
it's
nice.
part of the contract negotiations on whether that contractor wants the rock or not. But there is a possibility that we could get that
We're
route.
gonna have to try.
Yeah. And I know Matt from up here has stated that he will put in a word for us to try to help us get that rock as
Right.
well.
It's our rock, it's there now.
Yeah,
I don't wanna see it going to Pueblo fixing some road.
but the guys in Denver will be the ones that
I
probably
know
make the
it.
call, but if they go to figuring what it costs them to haul it out of this
Well, let's
county,
see that, yeah.
that makes that rock a lot higher for
Speaking of
them.
hauling the rock, there's
So-
Vince.
Anything else?
Not from me. Oh, wait a minute, there is one thing. We did close out the PMS contract and that grant yesterday with CDOT, the aviation group. So we ended up with a balance in that grant of $104. Came out right on the money.
That's for the.
For the chips, or for sealing, and
Chip
crack
sealing.
sealing, and then the painting and striping on
Okay.
the runway.
Good news.
Mhm.
Okay, public comment. Yes, sir.
Well, from the discussion about the rock fall, it sounds like we can't drive down there with our pickup trucks and put landscaping rock in the back.
You could try. I know that
But
they
it's dark.
aren't gonna allow anybody to turn the corner yet, and they allowed, there's a gal that lives there, a caretaker of the house is right there. They gave her permission to come and go, so she can get food.
So she doesn't have to walk in her
Doesn't have to
flip-flops
walk,
anymore.
yeah, that's right.
So, yeah,
Hey,
passable, but they won't allow anybody till they get that scaling done, is the main thing that they're worried about. They don't want somebody driving by there and have that big rock that was hanging up there come down, so.
No, I was worried more about getting the rock as opposed to
So
driving down.
it depends, I don't think we need any at the castle anymore, so I don't know what you're gonna do. I guess if you were landscaping your place or something, so.
Well, yeah. There's a lot of land around
Yeah, there it is.
So, all right.
Pretty impressive lot, it was on TV, last night, before the whatever his name is, the geological survey guy. Was interviewed and pointed out that that's a fault that stretches all the way from like Ophir Creek all the way to Guffey. And it's shifting all the time, and as a matter of fact, I felt some of the tremors once in a while, having grown up here. There's been a few of those, but it's not like a fault that's in California where we're gonna fall into the ocean. But it is a fault.
Anyone else? This meeting is adjourned at 9:29 a.m.
Half an hour.
I could have done 15 minutes. But no.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, if